So today I'm going to take lesson 1 part 2, objectives to be achieved, to know the difference between the three types of maps, major changes in the political map of India, and learn about different thematic maps. Now students, in page 3 you have already seen this map. This is the political map of India. But there's little change. At present we are having two union territories here, that is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, instead of one state. This is a state here. This is an old map. So when we look into the political map of India, I'll show you the changes there. So there are basically three types of maps. Physical map, PHYSICAL, physical map. Second one, political map, POLITICAL, political map. And third one is thematic, THEMATIC, thematic map. Now here in this slide you are having two maps. Left side you are having the physical map and right one is the political map. You can see the physical map with 3 or 4 colors. That is basically you are having dark brown, yellow, light brown, green and blue color. Whereas you can see the political map which is having dark bright colors. So it shows the demarcations, that is the boundaries, whereas the left one, it shows only the physical features, it will tell you like whether you are having a mountain or a plain or a plateau or have a water body. Now let us look into the difference between these two maps. Now basis for the comparison of physical map and political map. Physical map can be understood as a map used to indicate the forms of landscape and water bodies of an area. And whereas political map refers to a map that helps in representing the geographical boundaries, roads and other similar features of an area, just like your compound wall, what you are having for your school or a home, that demarcates the boundary. That is a boundary, right? Same way the country's boundary, they will tell you, or the state's boundary or a district boundary. Whereas physical map, it will tell you what type of geographical features you find there. And the features in a physical map will be raised or dipped, that is highland or a lowland. Whereas in political map, it's always, they just show the boundary. So it doesn't show you whether it is a mountain or a plateau, it just show the boundary, so that's a flat one. And the colors used are dull colors in physical map, because just now I shown you that map is very dull color, whereas the political map will have bright colors used, because you have to show the demarcations, you have to show the boundaries. So you can tell the pink color state or the blue color state or the red color, whatever color you want to give, you can give. There is no hard and fast rule in a political map to give the colors, but for a physical map they have given you colors which you have to use the same. So whenever you have to show the mountain, you have to show the brown one. Whenever you have to show the plains, you have to show the green one. Plateau, it is brownish yellow. And when it is water, it is always blue color. Now children, you can see this drawing here. This is an Nimpur village. They have given a drawing. You are having the mountains, plains, river, the water body. So what is a physical map? You will find some parts of your atlas called physical maps. In these maps, you will usually find different parts of the land colored in green, yellow or brown. Actually, they show the variety of landforms, mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. and depict the height of places. So how to depict this particular drawing on a map to show the height of the land? So they have given different colors here. Same way here also you can look down here. This is figure 1.6. They have given you the height and also the colors. Now we just see, this is the sea level from where they usually calculate the height of the land, from 0 meters. So when it is a plains, it is 50 meters. When it is plateau, it comes to 100 meters. And when it comes to mountain, here you are having 150 meters. This is showing the height of the land. And according to that, you have the colors depicting here. So all heights on the land are calculated from the sea level. This is the sea level. And since all the seas in the world, this you have to keep in your mind, all the seas in the world are connected to each other. The sea level, the top surface all over the world is taken to roughly the same. So what does it mean? All the sea water. Sea level is all the seas in the world are connected to each other. So the sea level, that is the top surface all over the world, is taken to roughly the same. Now children, look at this picture here. There are two figures given to you. On the top you have one figure which is, you can just take at the, you imagine it as the oceans or the seas in the world. They have different depth or in different heights, but the top surface of the water, surface water level will be same because they are all connected. You can see there's a connection. Down there's a pipe. Down one more two tanks are there, but they are water is being filled from two other pipes, so it is not connected as it is connected from as in the top picture. So you can imagine the top picture, the two cans which is shown, or the two tanks which is shown, they are connected parallelly, and because of that, whether the height is different or the depth is more or less, but the top level will be always the same. Now this is again a picture which is showing the physical map. Already you have seen. You can see there on the top brown color you have the Himalayas. To the middle you are having the light yellowish brown color, you are having the plateaus, and you have to the side you have the coastal plains, even you have the Gangetic plains to the north. Okay, so this is a physical map which is having only 4 or 5 light colors or dull colors, which will help to tell you the geographical feature of a particular area, how the surface of the earth is there in the particular area or location. So this is a physical map. Now this is a world map. They have given you the picture with an index to the left side, which will help you to tell the height of the land from the sea level, whether it is a low-lying land or it's a mountainous area, or it is very near to the sea, or it is very near to any river. Okay, so this physical map is very important whenever they are going to make a dam or other purposes. You need both the maps, but physical map is important because it will help you to help you to know the height at which you have to build the bridge or where the landing should be. So all this is based on the height of the land. Now here one more physical map of Telangana they have provided. And here also you can see Dhakal, Golconda plateau area, little darker color they have shown, that is the height of the land. Right side you are having the physical altitude scale they have given, above sea level and also below sea level. Below sea level is the blue color, and above sea level is the different other colors what you have used. You cannot use all the colors here. Now this is a political map of the world. In this political map you can use any color you like to demarcate the particular country, so that it is easy for you to find, and there is no hard and fast rule regarding the use of color in a political map. But for a physical map they have given you according to the height of the land, so you can use only those dark brown, light brown, green and other colors which you are given. So this is the political map of the world. Now we'll see what are the how many countries are there in the world. Yes, most accounts 197. There are 193 members of United Nations and 2 non-member observer states, the Holy See, Vatican City and Palestine. Therefore, the number of 195 is too often used to represent the number of countries in the world. There are 61 dependent areas and 6 disputed. Disputed means both the areas they are still having a fight which belongs to which part. Okay, so here they have given, yes, most accounts 197. There are 193 members in the United Nations. So basically it is 197. Now again they have shown you the political map of India. So you know the 2 new union territories, that is Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, and this is where the arrow is showing is your Telangana, which is your state. So this is a map which is demarcating the boundaries of the state. Now let us see how many states and union territories are there in India. Now how many states are there in India? India had 29 states and 7 union territories. Now the country has now 28 states since Jammu and Kashmir has been converted, and the country has now 9 union territories with Jammu and Kashmir as one new entrant, and Ladakh as another. So here they have given the list of the states and its capitals, which you can go through and note down in your notebooks. And also they have given you the union territories. So now you can look at here the union territories. You have Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chandigarh, Dadar Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep and Lakshadweep, Puducherry, and you have Ladakh. Now there is a special status given to Delhi. It is also called the NCT, National Capital Territory of Delhi. It's a special territory of India jointly administered by central government and the NCT elected government. 3 municipal corporations are there, and you know Kejriwal is the. So now you can see the political map of Telangana, which is showing the districts. Earlier it was 10, then 31, now it is 33. Mulugu is one of the new district. You can see Mulugu there, and there is one more here. We have Narayanpet, which is also a new one. So from 31 it has become 33 now. You can see the bright colors. So you know the boundary change, like first it was 10 and then it was 31. And in the beginning when Telangana was formed, it was 10, then it became 31, and now it is 33. So this is how the political map, it can change whenever we have some divisions or some demarcations. We are having the third type of map, a thematic map, is also called a special purpose single topic or statistical map. A thematic map focuses on the spatial variability of a specific or distribution or theme, such as population density, average rainfall, whether it's a soil type. So whereas a reference map focuses on the location and the maps of the features. So the thematic map, it can show whatever is asked for. Now you can see there are a few examples I have given. The first map, it is the major crop areas. They are marked. Right side you are having an index, and based on the index you will be coloring of the map. That is a thematic map of major crop area. Now you can see the second picture coming up. Major soils of India, that also they are divided into different colors. Major soils of India, major soil types, like what type of soil is there in which part. So these are all based on a particular theme. Here one more map is coming for you. This is mineral and forest density. Mineral and forest density, they have marked it. Right side again they have given an index which will help you to mark the places, and these types of maps are called thematic map. Based on, you have physical map, will show you the geographical features, then you have the political map, and now you have the last one as the thematic map. With this we end the class. So here I have given the homework for you. What are physical maps, what are political maps, and what are thematic maps. Take any one map, and you can take an India map and mark the physical features of it, also the political map of India, and also take one thematic map, whichever you like, and draw it in your notebook so that you don't forget. So with this we are ending the class. We have another part. In the next class I will just complete it with MSL, that is how to measure the mean sea level. So we'll meet in the next class.